So one of the things that I've loved about being at Bridgestone over time, and I mentioned it earlier, was getting to work with so many different OEMs. And over time, Bridgestone has had multiple different partnerships with just some of the most iconic vehicles ever created. We take that history really seriously. So I mentioned the Porsche 959. That was really the first, we are part of a global platform of the most technologically advanced car that had ever been made at the time. And part of that was the tires, right? Like you can't do what the 959 could do at that time without the right tires. And so we developed the original Potenza RE71 Denlock with the special kind of, Denlock bead, run flat type construction that really allowed that car to do what it did. And that, I think, is the thing that in the OE space, in the supercar space, gave us credibility that has allowed us to build over time to where we are today with Lamborghini, let's say. But a couple of the other kind of parts of the journey were the XJ220 in the 90s, the fastest production car at the time. Same kind of partnership with Jaguar at the time to develop tires that could do 220 miles an hour. And that's an interesting one in that we've kept that tire alive over time, and we've actually redeveloped it with Jaguar to make sure that those XJ220s can benefit from all the modern performance that we have now with 30 years later of material science and technology. And all of that kind of built to, what I would call kind of the golden age of we're in F1, we're partnering with Ferrari, we're on the Enzo. And so like that early 2000s period is just kind of a magical era within Bridgestone that was the culmination of this couple of decades of really hard work to get us the technical capability to be a Ferrari partner, be in F1. And it's something that we don't forget. It's interesting to talk to folks in the company around like these are things that happened in some cases years before people that work there were born, but we talk about it like it's today. We talk about it like it's relevant. And all of those tires we still make today. We still make the 959 tire. We still make the updated 220 tire. We still make the Enzo tire today because we recognize that those aren't just cars. It's living history, especially when you talk to enthusiasts, like they get it. When you explain it to people outside, you kind of have to talk about like, this is living art. This is like a rolling museum. It's part of car culture that you can't replicate. You can't buy that kind of business. You have to earn it. It's just so impressive to me to see that be such a hardcore part of our DNA. And it's the thing that gets me out of bed in the morning is knowing that we have that passion that not only can go to people that can buy supercars and hypercars, but every Camry that we're on, every bus that we're on, every airplane that uses Bridgestone tires has that same level of discipline and passion and technology in it. And to be able to see that just everywhere across the world through so many places that keep people safe as they travel is really important to me. And it's just such a huge part of what makes us our, Bridgestone. The OE partnerships, starting with that supercar, hypercar level, those are always going to be halo cars, right? Like McLaren sells a bunch of the 675s. It's the kind of their base model today for every P1 or type of product like that, or Senna that they sell. It's probably a 100-to-1 ratio, and we kind of take the same approach where partnering with OEMs gives us that insight into performance and technology, and it pushes us. And it's not just the hypercars, the regular OEMs, I'll say, push us to stretch and expand our capabilities in other ways too, that we can then say, well, we've got all this technology that we developed over here. How do I take this and make it available to other people? And so the Potenza race that we've talked about that we developed for the STO, we've got that in Miata sizes now. So that same level of performance track to street is available for, a car that really anybody can go out and buy and go and do an autocross or do a track day or just drive their favorite back road in maybe a way that they couldn't do before. So that's the kind of stuff where those OE partnerships really pay off in terms of the technology trickle down. I think the inverse is also true, where we see that the technology that we develop, because fundamentally a lot of the research and development we do is about basic material science. How do polymers work? How do polymers interact with filler like silica or carbon black? How do we create better formulas to do specific things? And if you're familiar with the tire industry, you've probably seen spider charts before where we've got all the different aspects of performance. And one of the things that we like to talk about is stretching the string. And this whole new generation of, we call it Enlightened technology within Bridgestone, is all about how do we use this expertise in material science to stretch the string and then create peaks where it matters the most to people. So how do I stretch that string for somebody that has like an STO for maybe I give them better wear life? based on a development that I did with Toyota on a Camry? And then how do I stretch it a little further to give them that maximum dry track performance? And using the SEO as an example, when we were doing the launch event out at Willow Springs, the thing that was most impressive to everybody was lap 10 felt exactly like lap 1. That really was the party piece of the Potenza race, was consistency on track. Because if the tire is always changing, maybe I don't have a lot of track experience, but I love this car and I want to go out and learn more about it. If the tire's changing every lap, it's harder for me to learn how to drive the car. I'm driving the tire. So how do I create a baseline with the tire that lets me learn the car and drive the car? So that kind of technology translation from, we'll call it more mass market up, so that we can develop things that last longer on track or are more consistent on track. And also, honestly, ride pretty well, pretty quiet, honestly, for what they are. There's definitely a two-way street on that technology transition. My favorite fact about Bridgestone is 1 in 5 vehicles in the world has a Bridgestone or a Firestone tire on it. Doesn't matter if it's a car, a bus, a truck, a dump truck, an airplane, like 20% of vehicles in the world have a Bridgestone or a Firestone on it. And that's something that's very powerful to me. Just, again, it's like what gets me out of bed in the morning. Knowing that that's out there and that we have that kind of influence is really important. And I think that even within those fitments, the breadth of what we have to offer, we love talking about Potenza, we love talking about the niche things because they're really, really fun. But we have thousands of products, thousands of SKUs, hundreds and hundreds of sizes to cover something like, even with a Potenza Sport, there's 80 something sizes in that lineup to cover everything from a Miata to a 911 to even like a McLaren or an NSX. And so the breadth within all of those segments and just knowing that the ability to influence how people go about their day-to-day lives is just really important and powerful for us as a company. Our team in Europe worked directly with Jaguar Land Rovers, our technical team in Europe, worked with them. It was about, I want to say, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. It might have been pre-COVID, but they'd been wanting to do this development for a while. And I think like around that kind of 15 to 20 year anniversary of the original XJ220, they were looking for a way to kind of have some news about that. And that's when they kind of kicked that development off. And it was a couple of years of like, we're not just going to phone this in, guys. Like, we're not taking the old spec and just adding some new stuff to it. We're going to redevelop this with modern tools, modern technology, all of the 3D modeling and things that we have now that we didn't have that capability back then, to deliver the best XJ220 experience that we can possibly do with the modern materials that we have. As far as I understand, the community was just blown away by the level of ongoing support, and like those people love those cars, right? And I think to see it continue to be truly supported both by the factory as well as by a manufacturer 20 years after the fact was huge for them. And all of the feedback that I've read around the performance of the product is it allows the car, it keeps the original flavor, it doesn't change it, but it allows the envelope to be higher. And the understanding that we're going to continue to support that over time, and that they have the confidence that I can keep my XJ220, I can go out and drive it because I don't have to worry about like, where am I going to get tires to replace what I've got on it, or I can keep the original wheels for it. That's really important to those owners. And so I think that between the performance and the peace of mind, it's a huge way for us to kind of give back to that community that helped build our brand at that period of time.
I'm at the Lars Anderson Auto Museum, home of America's oldest car collection, and they are holding a sweepstakes where one of you is going to win this Porsche 992. You can enter at the link in the description below and you will have an amazing car, but much more importantly, you'll be helping keep America's car culture alive. The Lars Anderson Auto Museum is the hub of New England car culture, and that is why every week here on the grounds, there's something amazing happening. So if you're in the Boston area, come say hey, and either way, enter to win this thing because it's awesome.